Hey everyone, Flint Truth Channel. Now, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching my content, for helping me support putting the truth out. I know there's a lot of haters and detractors and gatekeepers that don't like it. But anyways, it's not going to stop me from exposing all these people. But one of the things that I don't talk about a lot is, immigration and ICE and, these illegal immigrants. Now, obviously, I do not support illegal immigrants coming over and all this stuff, and all these, lunatic Democrats, with all these ICE out signs and all this. But I want to talk about, and I don't talk about the Jews very often either. I try to just expose people, and then talk about the Bible, shed light on God's word. But it is important to show and talk about these things. So I want to play this video.
Now at the top of the agenda for you within the JCPA. There are two issues at the top of our agenda at the very moment.
Top of their agenda. It's the very top of their agenda. By the way, this was in 2017 or 18. So this was, before, all the problems that we've had recently with immigration, I'd say within the last 5 or 6 years.
Is the unbelievably important immigration debate in this country. To make sure that immigrants from around the world, particularly those from south of our border, have a chance here. The 12 million or 13 million that just live here and do work and aren't really going home.
They already said that their goal by 2040 is to make America not Europe. So it's not mostly Europe. They don't want it to be white men. That's why you have all these Democrats and all these people that are, it's the evil white man. Everything's the evil white man. They do not want America ran by the white man. The white
they
European.
have a chance to stay here justly and as legal immigrants. And that debate is so important because we know what it's like to come to another country, even one called the United States of America, where we weren't always so welcome. But because we were welcomed enough, we were able to create this amazing Jewish...
And one of the things about with immigrants is I'm all for legal immigrants if they're going to come here and assimilate, right? The whole point of leaving your country isn't so that you can come bring your culture, your religion, those morals over to another place that doesn't share those values and morals. Okay, the whole point of immigration is for people that are struggling, living a terrible life, and they want to come, unless you're seeking asylum, which is a very, very small percentage, is to come over for a better life, hopefully a better opportunity. And they've been doing this for a long time. A lot of times they'll come for a little bit of time and work, and they'll send the money back, or they'll work for a little bit and then go back, whatever the case is. But now, within the last, we've had them just brought over here by the millions, by the millions. And with our birth rate the way that it is, we don't even have enough people to fill the working class. It's really, really sick, and abortion is a big, big reason for that. We're killing all our future generations of working class and our future leaders and whatnot. So it's a big, big problem.
Civilization and be a part of the American civilization. So we have an entire program called...
My point is, just to end it, yes, all for legal immigration, all for people that come here and want to assimilate, people that want to have a better life and are going to, try to go to church, try to follow the ways of the United States, try to follow God, be a productive United States citizen. Instead, they come over here in bunches, so they don't even feel compelled to assimilate because they're all with their family, and so they can come over here and bring their religion and bring and it's counteractive to what we believe. It's like the Muslims wanting to bring Sharia law over here. It's absolutely ridiculous. But look at how far they've came in England. They've taken over England.
Creation nation.
Well, they haven't taken over, but you get the point.
Make sure that the Jewish community steps up to the plate, and the broader interfaith community.
There are people in Sweden who support Israel and have a deep sense of the injustice of the present situation.
And then look, of course, they shine right in on the Masonic illuminated triangle right there, as you can see. Unreal.
Situation.
Which is nothing
It's
more than a
these
cultic
people who give hope
spellcasting
to those
symbol.
who still believe that things will get better here.
One of the
One of
oldest.
them is Barbara Specter, a former American who made Aliyah and then
But they also love it because the 666 and everything else.
10 years ago, with the help of the government of Sweden, set up a non-denominational institute of Jewish learning with the Greek name of Paideia here in Stockholm. She believes the current wave of anti-Semitism in Sweden will pass and that Jews have an important role to play in a country undergoing profound change.
That's what it's all about.
I think there's a resurgence of anti-Semitism because at this point in time, Europe has not yet learned how to be multicultural. And I think we're going to be part of the throes of that
Anti-Semitism. Unreal. Anti-Semitism.
transformation,
That's what they
which
want to call
must
it.
take place. Europe is not going to be the monolithic societies that they once were.
Europe's not going to be the monolithic, predominantly white European place that they've always been. You heard it from her own mouth.
Last century, Jews are going to be at the center of that. It's a huge transformation for Europe to make. They are now going into a multicultural mode, and Jews will be resented because of our leading role. But without that leading role and without that transformation, Europe will not survive.
Europe will not survive.
Transformation, Europe will not survive.
Waiting to help them are the last people the Syrians might expect. Volunteers from Israel.
My name is Tali Shaltiel. I'm here with Israel, an Israeli-based NGO.
My name is Majida Kardosh. I'm here as a medical team. I work as a nurse.
So these are real videos deleted from YouTube, banned from YouTube. Just like this website, it's a banned website. It's been deleted, but if you know how to work the internet, you know how to pull up banned and deleted videos, banned and deleted websites. And I know how to do that. So I want to share this with you. It says, the death of America was enacted in 1965 with the signing of the Open Immigration Law of 1965, the Jewish conspiracy behind the 1965 Open Immigration Law. While serving Jewish interests, the Open Immigration Law of 1965 was the beginning of America's death as a unified nation. Jews were behind the law, promoting, lobbying, and bribing the law into existence with fanaticism. Hold on a second. Sorry, my dog had to be let out. With fanaticism equaling the most dedicated Muslim terrorists. Jews have continually evinced hostility towards American Christian culture in their aggressive efforts to change it. The Open Immigration Law of 1965 is a prime example of that hostility. Jews are a paranoid people. Wherever the Jews go, they fear anti-Semitism. So true. Jews have a guilt complex, and for good reason. Jews fear a homogeneous Christian culture of which they would never ascend to influential positions. Rather, in a homogeneous, if I'm not pronouncing that right, I apologize, Christian culture, Jews are looked upon, and rightly so, as Christ killers. This is why the Jews tried to get Mel Gibson's movie, The Passion of Jesus Christ, removed from the silver screen. A typical example of what characterizes the Jewish push for open immigration can be seen in following. It's hard reading these little letters. Following the 1948 quote by David Pergesky, former director of the AG Congress, Jewish survival can only take place within the framework of a progressive and expanding democratic society, which is why Democrats are the ones that they are support and push. That's why they're on every news channel. Which, through its institutions and public policies, gives expression to the concept of cultural pluralism. Here are the names of the Jews behind the Open Immigration Law of 1965. Senator Jacob Javadis, New York. Congressman Emanuel Seller, New York. Leo Pfeiffer, former president of American Jewish Congress, AJC. Norman Poderhorst, writer and member of the Council of Foreign Relations. Senator Jacob Javits played a prominent role in the Senate hearings of the 1965 bill. Javits authored the article entitled "Let's Open the Gates" and proposed the immigration levels of 500,000 per year for 20 years with no restrictions on national origin. Congressman Emanuel Seller, who fought for the unrestricted immigration for over 40 years in the House of Representatives, introduced similar legislation resulting in the Cellular Heart Immigration Bill, the precursor to the fatal bill of 1965. Leo Pfeiffer, a so-called Jewish intellect, translate, Christ-hater, wrote many treatises and books that propagandize for open immigration. So what does that tell you? Norman Poderhorst, a former leftist, now a Jewish neocon, he's still a leftist, also wrote many articles promoting open immigration. Jewish organizations such as American Jewish Congress, the Jewish Federation, the ACLU, and the Benign Brief, there is no end to their organizations, filed briefs to support of open immigration before the Senate subcommittee in the early 60s leading up to the passing of the 1965 law. The 1965 open immigration law is presently fulfilling the aims of the Jewish conspiracy as it is in effect. The U.S. Census Bureau projects that by the year 2050, which is what I said earlier, I think I said 2040, but you guys get the point, European-derived peoples will no longer be a majority of the population of America due to the massive influx of immigrants since the signing of the bill in 1965. And I've proven that in the video that I started off with. So you guys know that this has been in place for a long time. Most of these immigrants come from third world nations whose customs, religions, and cultures are far removed from anything remotely resembling Christianity. Within the context of a Jewish-informed multicultural America, these immigrants are encouraged by the Jews to retain their own languages, customs, and religions. The Jews have also given these immigrants a moral mandate to expand both demographically and politically, and expand they will do. But any attempts by European-derived peoples to retain demographic and political and cultural control in America are represented by the Jews as being racist and immoral. So, just wanted to share that with you guys.